Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and a few minutes ago I streamed live onto the YouTubes my thoughts on the best smart speaker you could pick up this year. I was very bitey, as I was yesterday as well, and I think a few of you picked up on that. As I mentioned in the other video, though, I guess I've been getting sick, and I think I felt this like 2 days ago. But I can tell you this, yesterday afternoon, I really felt it, like in the back of my, the nose part of the throat thing. Yeah, it's agitated. So, of course, I'm easily agitated. Hashtag shock. I am Chris Pirillo, and I still have to roll forward with these live videos because, I have to. I have to. See, if I take an hour off from doing a video, people ask. They do, really. What happened? And then they start crying, and it's really uncomfortable. So let's just try to get through this together, and hopefully no one will get hurt. I'm not going to tell you what my choice for a smart speaker was, because you got to watch that other video, which I'm sure you've already watched if you've joined me live here in this channel. This one right here, because a lot of people roll over from one of the live videos into the next. I can't tell why this is funny, but Tony is laughing so hard he's got tears coming out of his emoji. But apparently this link, if you look at this link, it is insanely funny. Chase the Ace asks, unrelated to my choice of a best smart speaker, can Google Home Mini play Apple Music or no? No, but you know what can? A Bluetooth speaker. So, just get a Bluetooth speaker. Yeah. It's probably just as smart just to use the thing that you have now. I don't know. I've tried a variety of Bluetooth speakers over the years. I can't say that any one of them has impressed me apart from the Star Wars ones, and here's why. Because the Star Wars smart speakers just sit there and they look good. Yeah? Well, what did I get a ding over here for? What's the ding? I don't know what the ding is. Well, you kids keep dinging my phone. You ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. By the way, I'm not loopy on medicine. I'm not that sick. It's just I'm agitated. So yeah, just use a Bluetooth speaker. But my recommendation is get a Bluetooth speaker that is actually something that looks okay when it's not Bluetooth speaking. And the only ones I've found again are the Star Wars ones. iHome, I want to say made those. Those have impressed me a lot because they look good even when they're not working, and we don't use them incredibly often. Jedi sometimes will ask for them if she wants to listen to music as we're playing at the table. But even right now, she's not commanding me or speaker to, or even mommy, to play some music on the quote unquote smart speaker that we currently have plugged in. What are your thoughts? Oh wait, hang on. I got to get to Charlie. Oh, by the way, Charlie, I did get your request. I don't know what's available in the UK for Star Wars stuff, Charlie. I mean, I know they have like different dime stores, convenience stores that you can walk into. Tesco, I think, is the name, where they have Star Wars stuff. That's a lot of that small trinkety stuff is what I can't get over here. Not like the bigger, expensive. I mean, I wouldn't spend my money on a lot of that stuff anyway. But like the trinkety drugstore kind of stuff, I just don't know. I keep looking. I'm like, there's no good source for me to find to say this is what I'm looking for. Unless I see it. Unless it hits my Star Wars feed. Tidbits asked the first question, though. What do you think about Yahoo suing Mozilla? A bad $350 million deal where Mozilla can walk away from and still collect that money? Well, maybe Yahoo should have hired a lawyer when the contract was drafted. Maybe they should have spent their money on that instead of Tumblr. I guess Yahoo's trying to make money. If that's the way to do it, okay. I'm not a legal expert, nor do I care one iota about what happens with Yahoo. I stopped caring about Yahoo years ago. That's the kind of company that's you say something Yahoo and they say that's still around. Mind you, I'm old enough to remember when Yahoo had a tilde in the URL. That's how old I am. Yeah. So the fact that I'm still talking about Yahoo today is pretty amazing. What are your thoughts on the proposed AT&T Time Warner merger? I don't know. I guess I don't think too much about it. It doesn't impact me directly. I I think I'm more worried about the state of regulation in this country with the current quote-unquote administration. I see a lot of moves that are being made that are very anti-competitive, anti-consumer, anti-citizen. I'm not really a fan of these mega mergers. The last mega merger that I think I liked was the acquisition of Lucasfilm by Disney. That made sense because Lucasfilm, where was it going to go? What was it going to do without any kind of direction or something that would afford it a future? So I was a little iffy with it at first, but I think it's played out very nicely. The Disney acquisition. There's a pending acquisition of Fox by Disney now that's on the table, which would be pretty cool because then we could potentially have the Star Wars films as they were originally done, like not recorded. We've talked about should the original copy of or the original version of Star Wars be re-released or re-released. But like the drum roll, brum bum brum bum. That was the thing that led into Star Wars, right? Not right now. So I would kind of be excited to hear that coming back. I mean, I realize it's a stupid thing to pin my hopes on, but that's what I would certainly love to hear. Chris, I'll get to you in just a moment. We do have a super chat. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. It says I see your quote unquote leader is making waves again. Still, care to comment? Sure, Chris. Give me a moment. Oh, and before I forget, since I see the pound there in your super chat, if you know of any cool Star Wars trinkets over there in the UK, let me know, because Charlie's visiting and I'm looking for cool Star Wars trinkets you can't get here in the US, only in the UK. You guys keep ringing my phone. Ding-a-ling. Ding-a-ding, ring. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding. Any comments on Matt Lauer? Nope. Charlie asks, I'll pick up a couple things for you anyway. Well, thank you. If you see some Star Wars stuff, I'm serious, man. The Star Wars trinkety stuff, that you can't, I mean, it sounds so stupid. But those are the things I can't necessarily get here. I mean, some of the things I can get, some of the toys I can get here, some of them I can't. I just don't know what those are because I don't track that market as much as others do. I only see them pop up in my feed. What Zach Berjawi asks, what is the number one reason that tech startups fail? Oh, there's so many reasons. One, they didn't hire me. Actually, that probably kept them in business for as long as they were. Give me a second. I'm drinking my, not beer, not wine, my tea, Christmas tea that Liz got. Thank you, Liz. Someone I know I don't thank enough. Sometimes she, as well as other people, are at the sharp end of my tongue, unintentionally. The reason tech startups fail. The wrong team. I mean, I guess I will come back to this. The wrong team. They hired the wrong people. They were solving a problem that didn't exist. They could not scale. There are several reasons why a tech company, any company, forget tech, because Zach, I'm gonna pull you back a bit. Every company is a tech company. Because name one company that doesn't have tech. Like even the woodworker who's selling his wares online, tech. Tech touches every company. Every company. Taking payments, tech. Tech. Now, if your question is specific to a company that is designed around the idea of producing tech, the same reasons apply. I think it all boils down to, and I've said this again and again and again, not the idea but the execution. So, for example, my idea is that I want to do a live video. So how well did I execute it? I don't know. I did it to the best of my ability. Was it something that you were expecting? I don't know. But I did it. So there's the idea. And I'm executing. That's the execution. So I'm not saying that this is absolutely not a business model. But when tech is your focus, you've got to nail it. And you've got to nail it from management all the way down to developer. And, I've seen a lot of tech products fail, not just hardware, but software as well, because the developers didn't know what they were doing, and the marketing team wasn't strong enough, and management had no idea what was going on. People ask, tech TV, what happened to tech TV? Well, first of all, move on. It doesn't exist anymore. Some of us survived, some of us didn't. Secondly, the executives didn't understand technology, so they didn't understand the content. I mean, it was the content, but they didn't understand it. So it comes down to not the idea, it's the execution. I think it really does boil down to having the right team. It really genuinely does. That'll make or break any idea. It'll make or break any company, having the right people. Because you can have the right people in the wrong job or doing the things that need to be done, but not the things they're best suited for, and that's still going to add up to a failure. Man, I can keep going on. There are so many, way more reasons why companies or tech companies fail than they do succeed. It shocks me that some of them have succeeded as long as they have succeeded, probably due to somebody else's money. All right, Chris, my quote-unquote, ain't my leader. Not mine. I think you're talking about, if you're talking about the general, it ain't mine. Not according to the popular vote, that's for sure. Not according to my vote either. Not according to any definition of leadership, by the way. So, yeah, this is a constant thing, and I have nothing to say apart from, I told you. You guys just keep, thinking what you're going to think, but, eventually come back to say, dang, Chris, it just keeps being right. Okay, well, I'm just going to sit here and continue to be right then. That's what I have to say about that. Chris, do you build robots? Can you build robots? No. Sure. If you could go back and reboot, is there something you would want your former self to do differently? Asks Shirag. More entrepreneurs today are rebooting, trying to get a refresh to their business. Do you think rebooting is a good thing for entrepreneurs in the slump? Well, business is like community. It ebbs and flows. Remember all those people who were excited that I was talking about tech again? What happened to them? Remember all those people complained that TLDR wasn't around anymore? What happened to them? It's a great question, isn't it? In terms of that, what works today may not work tomorrow. What's a good model today is not necessarily one tomorrow. You constantly have to adjust. That's not being in a slump versus rebooting. It's adjusting. A reboot is pretty difficult to pull off. Hey, me. If you get me off topic, I'll talk about Star Wars, which I know annoys the hell out of a lot of people, but it doesn't annoy the hell out of me. So I didn't really change. I just felt that, I would be wasting my time talking about things that quite honestly bored me to tears. As being someone who drives forward pretty much a bulk of the content, all the content I do here from this particular position, what happens from there, is anybody's guess. Because some people want to listen to it, some people don't, some people care, some people don't, some people say they care, but they really don't. I've been subject to the whims of individuals. I've been subject to the whims of the marketplace. Everybody is. So is it smart to reboot? Sometimes. I mean, if what you're doing ain't working, you got to do something, right? I hesitate to say anything else, but do I think rebooting is a good thing? Well, sure, if there's no other choice left, or just abandoning it altogether. Feel free to ignore this if you don't want to get anything political. Thanks, Charlie. What are your thoughts on the U.S. recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel? I think it's stirring up a hornet's nest. That's all I'm going to say about that. Tony Yoon, is he still your president, though, as long as you're a U.S. citizen? Nope. 8 days, 10 hours, 37 minutes, 55 seconds until Star Wars The Last Jedi. I agree. Now, there's a topic that's actually fun, fascinating, interesting, and good. Can't wait for it. Christopher Miller comes in. He says, wow, finally back, break at work. And lo and behold, there's Chris Pirillo doing TLDR. Hey, from Ohio. Hey, Mr. Ohio. That's your new title. That's your you get the crown. You get to wear Mr. Ohio. I'm making it a thing now. If you didn't know, I'm making it a thing. Thank you for tuning in, Chris. It is good to see you virtually. Your drawing over here has a pal. Let me show you. So Chris did this eons ago. I kept it. I cut it out. I'm like, dude, that's so amazing. Look at that. I thought it was so cool. But then Justin Hillgrove, I backed one of his projects the other day, and he drew a Vader on the box. Isn't that great? Like, this was like it was like a Jabberwocky comic book. And the cool thing about this is, like, this original work of art is worth more than that Jabberwocky to me. Like, this is insane. So I got a Justin Hillgrove original right next to the Chris Miller original right there. Side by side. It's so good. Shirag asks, do you like hummus? Yeah, I do. I like it creamier than pasty. You know what I'm saying? Like a creamy consistency. Oh, that's usually with added oil, which I've got to avoid. Made myself a hummus. Yes, hummus is good. I like hummus. I like baba ganoush more than hummus. Not that the two can be compared, because one's a chickpea and the other one's eggplant. But yeah, I like it. I'd eat it. Yes, he is our president. No, he's not. He's somebody else's president. Any thoughts on must-haves for creating content for YouTube? Lighting, cameras, microphone storage, any ideas for how to keep costs down? Yeah, okay, so this is a common question. Use what you got. Do whatever you can to maximize the resources that you have, the resources at your disposal. The value of a camera is only as good as what you can do with it, right? So you can spend a lot of money on a camera or microphone or lighting or whatever, and ultimately not use it properly, or you'd have a law of diminishing returns. Oh, okay, I'll get back to that. I may have to scroll and lock. So we're not going to question the legitimacy, which is actually illegitimate, of the so-called person who's occupying the White House at this point in time. He's someone else's leader. He's not this country's leader. That may be a very unpopular opinion right now. History will prove me right. You wait and see. I'm telling you now, move on from the topic. Thank you. Okay, so back to the tech question. So the legitimacy of technology, just for the sake of being technology, is not worth anything, because it'll just sit there doing nothing. Use what you got. Build from there. Do I have any suggestions? Yeah. What do you want to do? Like, what's your budget? You know, what do you see that could work? I don't have any specific recommendations, because, quite honestly, every week a new one comes out. You know, you've got to find something that's going to work for you, that may have a certain feature implemented in such a capacity that it's doing exactly what you need it to do. Lighting, yes, is important. Use whatever lighting you have. Even if it means using daylight. For years, I would use daylight in certain videos just to get the right lighting conditions. You know, not having, illumination is a challenge. This is something that I've struggled with over all the years as well. In fact, recently, went through and did probably what I should have done years ago, and that was replace the warm white bulbs, or the LEDs in my play shop here, with white ones. And I did that because I was running into problems. I'm like, I wonder if it's because I'm using warm white. Well, it turns out, no, the software that I'd been using was horrible. It's just not, there's not a lot of good software out there today. It's just, it's in a different state of horrific. That's software and hardware, though. I hate to burst your bubble. But by going that direction, it's not that I got better lighting because I was able to white balance differently. I just got different lighting. Did things improve? Maybe. Did many people notice? Probably not. So you choose the things that you need. What do you need? A thing to record. Got it. Your camera. Whatever camera you got on you. What, do you have a smartphone? Bam, you got a camera. Could it be better? Sure. Get a better camera. What camera? I don't know. Do you want to lug around a camera, or do you want one in your pocket? I'm saying there's so many variations. It's impossible to make a recommendation, a blanket recommendation, apart from get the equipment that you need. Get the equipment that's going to do the job. What records video? A camera. Do you need light? Can you afford light? No? Well, then make do with what else you have, right? Can you afford an external microphone? No? Well, then do the best you can with the microphone you have on you. Make incremental upgrades. Make incremental improvements. Knowing full well that you're going to replace what you have now with something else a few years from now. That's how technology works. It's in this constant state of evolution, never fully locked in. Okay, give me a second. Zach Rajawi came in with the super chat saying, Chris, imagine... Why do you gotta use the C word? If for some corn-related crime, you are imprisoned for 20 years. What is this, making a murderer? You have no access to the outside world or new tech products. Really? Do you promise? Zach Rajawi, what would you miss the most, tech-wise? What is a product you could experience for the first time upon your release in 20 years? Prediction. What would I miss the most? Keeping up with information. Which I could do if at that point all I had access to was newspapers, so I wouldn't miss it at all. I wouldn't miss technology at all. Zach asks then, what is a product you would experience for the first time? Product probably I don't know. I really don't know. It's not that I lust after technology. I don't. Like I said, I tolerate it. First time. What would be the first time? Product. Well, 20 years is a long time. Hell, 10 years is a long time with technology. Probably a phone. Whatever the phone, the new phone happened to be. The bleeding edge phone and whatever it offered, if it was. Or smart glasses. 20 years from now, we'll have smart glasses. That's a prediction. I think that's going to come true. I think the technology is getting to that point. AR and all that stuff. So I think it would be 20 years, it would be something ARE built into prescription lenses. That'd be my guess. Thank you for my art plug. No problem. You're right up there on the thing. Do you think the problems, asks Bondi7, that are currently affecting content platforms affect the quality of what producers create? No, it just affects the creator's ability to further connect. I don't think it's an impediment to my ability to create. I create. This is what I do. I'm in the middle of my second live video of the day. I'm planning on doing 2 more today. One for the Creator Advocate channel and one for the Star Wars Radar channel. The problems aren't affecting me because I'm able to get online with my camera, with my microphone, with my setup here, and do my thing. So I don't think that's the problem. I'm sorry, Issaquah. I got to scroll back up. I want to make sure I see this. So I think it creates more problems for their ability to execute on their vision than it does to keep them from producing quality that they want to create. The bar is always being raised. Some people say, well, Chris, if you only had this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, well, yeah. If I could only fly, then, if only pennies rained from heaven, I can sit here and wish in one hand and crap in the other, and at the end of the day, what do you have? So I don't think it's the problems that are currently affecting the content platform, or on the content platforms that are affecting them. I think it's, I think they're 2 separate problems. 2 separate issues. I think the lack of stability of YouTube is something that people should have learned early on to never like go deeply into in calling themselves YouTubers. I'm like, that's a really bad idea. It was a bad idea then. It's a bad idea now because if your whole identity is tied into somebody else's platform, and that platform no longer supports you the way that it used to, that's not a good thing. But that's none of my business. As I continue to sip the tea. Ahsoka Tano comes in with an amazing super chat. R5D4 Blues motivator so R2 can stay with 3PO. So this is actually a really interesting theory. The first time I heard that, I'm like, what? So the theory is, right, there's the purchase of the droids. They're in the Lars homestead on Tatooine. And R5D4 rolls out and then blows, right? He blows his motivator, right? And then Luke says, Uncle Owen, this one's got a bad motivator. And 3PO intervenes. I don't know. It would be interesting, that said, it would be interesting to have like a comic arc or something, a backstory in canon where R2-D2 and R5-D4 are somehow connected with each other. And I don't think we've had that supportive backstory. Without that, it's an awful stretch. I think it's potentially serendipity. It's the Force working in mysterious ways. I don't know. It's a robot. Technology breaks. It's what technology does. Technology breaks more than it works. I I don't think so. I don't think R5D4 made a conscious decision to blow his own motivator. That's my feeling. That's how I feel about that. Now that Ryan Johnson has mentioned the new trilogy will not be based on the Old Republic, do you have any speculation as to in which timeline the trilogy will be based on? What would you like to see? So that's actually a good question that I have mapped out to answer in today's Star Wars Radar video. So go ahead and table that thought. I'm going to tell you what I want or what I would hope for in a Star Wars live-action TV series. I will answer that question. Just you didn't know this wasn't staged. You didn't know that was the question I was going to address today. When is your 360 office tour? From YouTube asking. I've got the 360 camera. I would probably do it. Traditionally, it was New Year's, right? New Year's Day. I'll bring it back for New Year's. So New Year's Day is when you can get the office tour. That's when I've done it before. Maybe I'll make it a Christmas. I don't know if we're going to do a Christmas vlog. We did one last year. Maybe we'll do another one this year. I'm not sure. As Jedi gets older, it gets a little more unpredictable to do live video. Although we did a live video last night, kind of trimming the tree, or at least Dinah was adjusting the branches. We actually went out and we looked for a real Christmas tree, which I was prone to do, but Diana said, well, why don't we just use the one we already have, the plastic one? It'll save us $40, $50. And I'm like, so we saved $40 or $50 by using an artificial tree. We don't really trim with ornaments at this point either. We use lights. I like lights on the Christmas tree. But on New Year's Eve, what we're going to do is we're going to do a drive. We're going to do like a subservient Chris. We're going to try to drive up subscriptions on Twitch for access to the Discord chat room as well as patrons. So those two will hopefully, we're going to try to get up to 200 people in the chat room. That's my goal. I don't know if that's going to happen in terms of achieving that goal, but it's a nice goal to have specifically for New Year's, getting people to basically join the chat room. And you could do that by becoming a sub of mine on Twitch or a patron on Patreon. Links are in the video description. So I think we've got just about every super chat answered. I'm going to go ahead and start winding down. As I mentioned, I've got a couple other videos that I need to pound through. Need to refill my tea. Going to move from a Christmas tea to a savory tea. I love savory teas. They're more like sipping broths, especially when you're sick, right? I like salty flavors. Although, that's the thing. I haven't really lost my taste. I don't know if this has anything to do with being vegan, but the times that I've been sick, this is now the second time, it's not been as intense as it's been in the past. Like, when you get sick, bam, it hits you. But I think it's been a kind of a slow type. The first time and the second time, although last night yesterday, I did start popping those zinc gummies. You gotta watch out for gummies too, because they're not always vegan either. But the 2 times now that I've been sick, really the only change I've had, I'm getting older, but the only change I've had is in diet, and it seems that may have improved my state. So we'll see if the cold goes away, or dissipates the same way it did last time with me wolfing down the zinc gummies. I've got to pick up more. I pretty much cleaned an entire bottle the first time around, but I was nervous. I didn't want it to get worse. You just got to stay on schedule with those zinc gummies, though. So hopefully no one else is getting sick. I guess that's going around. It's just it's a head thing. It's a nose, throat thing. My taste is what I was saying is not really totally thrown off. Shirag asks, what has been the most challenging part of becoming a father? Something you did not expect as Jedis growing up. Oh, discipline. Diana has to remind me frequently, like, she's just 3 years old. I'm like, I know, but I'm also trying to communicate to her and set expectations. Like, for instance, yesterday somehow she came into the room, threw all her cards onto the floor, and then left. And they were laying here. Well, she came back in today. I'm like, you've got to pick up those cards, honey. Like, you left them out there, and she didn't want to do it. I'm like, wait a minute. You got the cards out. You made the mess. You need to be responsible to clean them up. Otherwise, you're going to lose access to them. And she kept fighting, and no, I didn't want to do it. Being a 3-year-old. And it's like, ultimately, I was like, all right, if you're not going to help with these picking up these cards, mommy's even offering to help. So she threw, which she does when she gets frustrated, she threw the case for it. I'm like, all right, then you don't get access to them. You've decided. You threw the case. You made a mess. You didn't want to pick it up. You'll lose access to these. These can no longer be played with. Put it away. So I don't know if that was the right decision to make. I don't know if it was the wrong decision to make, but either way, I wasn't going to get into a battle of wits. I was going to give her a choice. I was going to give her several times to do it. And ultimately, if she's disrespecting that, then if she's not able to handle that, maybe she'll be able to get back to it at some point in the future, right? I don't know. I know it's a really weird way of doing it, but like the alternative is we just sit there and just wait for her for another hour to decide that she's going to clean it up after fighting back. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, you did this yesterday. You have to clean this up, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. Either you clean this up or it goes away. She didn't want to clean it up. She made her choice. She threw it. She made her choice. I'll give her a choice. But, you know, I'm also a nice dad. I know I'm not going to get the credit for it, but the Wookiees are delivering awesome things. The Wookiees delivered a nice little like plastic candy cane with sweet tarts inside today. The Wookiees are going to get all the credit. I'm going to look like the heavy. Well, anyway, I'm not forgetting about the stomach bug, and hopefully I don't get that either. All right, see you over in the other YouTube channels. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. At this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices, and may the Force be with you.